Hello, everyone, and good afternoon to you. I know each of you are getting ready to run out of your jobs. It's not even 4 o'clock yet, and you're getting ready to run out. I realized yesterday in my other recordings that I was shouting too much, being too loud. The recording didn't even come out in the quality that I wanted it to, um, even with the headphones on. So today I'm being a little more calm, and then I wanted to softly, speak softly, but carry a big stick. That's how Teddy Roosevelt, the Rough Riders, a notorious killer. Do you know that most leaders in history and most political leaders are killers? It is the ones who can kill the most and who can hold a good conscience who actually um, hold on a second. I think that might be an attorney calling me. Hold on. Hey, I had to take this call. It was actually from my insurance agent. You know, insurance is very, very important. Very, very important. The most important insurance is life insurance because the most important asset that you have is your life. But most people don't understand that. And then you have your house, your homeowners, and that's extremely important as well. People say, well, I have auto insurance because it's the law. Well, the truth is, if something happens, you can't. Where's the money? You ain't save no money. You don't have no money put away that you can just pay off a car or pay off the loan or pay off the house. And I've seen so many of you in court going into bankruptcy, losing your homes because you owe the National Bank or whoever took over Royal Bank, whoever took over First Caribbean, you owe them. And Dominica, I believe, only have one bank now. But one of the things I wanted to talk with you all about and to make you all understand, right? And it's really something very stupid. People say all the time. People say, well, why are you arguing or fighting or doing this over land when you're going to die and leave the land? And it's an ignorant Negro way of thinking. Because when you consider Portugal, Spain, France, England, Germany, the Dutch, right? And the Dutch were the first slave traders, and they formed colonies all the way into Asia, East Asia, into Indonesia, into way, way, way in the Pacific. And these European people, white people, they went. Oh, don't talk about South America, the conquistadores and Christopher Columbus. They came to conquer new lands in the name of the King and Queen of Spain, King Isabella and King whatever the Queen Isabella and whatever the king name, King Ferdinand. And when they came here, they colonialized the land. They asked the people, do you have paper to the land? The people didn't have paper, so they took the land. And in the United States of America, they came and they asked the people, did you have paper? They didn't have paper, and they just took the land. And if you wanted to have a land and a ranch, you would just ride out as far as you could ride, put a stake in the ground, and say, this is lander's land. So a lot of colonialists, a lot of colonial Americans came to the United States and just got all the land they could get, and then they fought Mexico for Texas, they fought Mexico for California, and this is what's going on in the world. You have wars, deadly wars among nations over territory and territorial integrity, similar to what we see is happening between Russia and Ukraine today. So the disputes between ordinary citizens is a microcosm of what happens in the broader society and in the broader civilization. So my matters before your courts, I didn't bring them. They were brought against me by people attempting to take what is rightfully mine. So I have a right to fight back. And as I told you before, it is resistance, it is struggle, which means to fight, and then it is victory. So that's what we're doing. Now, I wanted to tell you, see, I use the word voodoo, and even my family criticized me, right? And everywhere I go now, there's a Voodoo product. This is called the Voodoo Ranger beer. And I stopped drinking regular beer because it's just like drinking water. This beer has 9.9% alcohol by volume. So if you're going to waste your health and your calories on drinking beer, I recommend you drink the Voodoo Ranger beer. And I explained to you that in the United States of America, I came up with the name Voodoo and Voodoo Master, and everybody else, they got Voodoo Pizza, Voodoo Louisiana food. They even have Voodoo prostitution, Voodoo hoes. I'm sorry, but to offset my stress, I'm struggling every day to stop drinking. I used to drink very heavily whiskey, Grey Goose, Hennessy. So I cut it back. I cut it back to wine and beer, and I'm working now to cut it back to nothing. I used to smoke. I smoked for 50 years, and one day I just stopped. That's why you see my lips are not as brown as they used to be, but they're still nice and sexy and thick enough to give you a lovely and beautiful kiss, whether you're a man or a woman. Lovely kissing lips. But anyway, let's get back to the discourse. And the discourse is that Europeans came, they conquered us, they brought us as slaves to the Western Hemisphere, the New World. And in Africa, they colonized the people. So you have the slavery experience and you have the colonialism experience. And out of those came two different groups of people with two different perspectives. And so when you talk about people not fighting, I mean in Ethiopia, in Tigray, in Uganda, in the Sudan, if you go talk to your so-called new leader, Dr. Fontaine, he has been to Afghanistan, he's been to South Sudan, where the Europeans said they would never change the borders of Africa, but they went in with their Christian missionaries and they broke the Sudan apart, because in South Sudan there's oil, and so they want control of the oil. Okay? So, and they have a whole brutal civil war. So what we have here is not a civil war. What we have here is an exchange of ideas. Okay? A debate, a talk. We're fighting with our pens and with our words. And you should never be so upset with me for speaking to you forcefully and vocally and truthfully and calling you out and asking you, what purpose do you serve if you cannot do your job? I want to thank Mr. Leroy Peters for the recent email he sent me with the copies of the dockets. I don't know how much money I owe him yet. I need to ask. And, I always pay for my services now. I've never not paid for services. But I'll tell you one thing about me. I am the only man in the United States of America. And if Mikey was here, Mikey's gone, he's dead. But they used to call me Mussolini. Because you see, when I landed here, I was reading the autobiography of Mussolini. And, I've always been fascinated with politics and with history, as well as philosophy and logic and science. These are the things that interest me. So I was wondering, how does a man come to be a supreme leader and a dictator? But, dictatorships do not succeed. And the reason why they do not succeed is, here's the difference between the Africans, the Caribbean people, and the other people. The Europeans have institutions. So the Prime Minister of Britain, though he may be an Indian, and though the Foreign Secretary may be an African of probably Caribbean or African descent, These places have institutions, the monarchy is an institution, the military is an institution, and they are institutions that are concerned with the advancement of white nationalism, their nationalistic interests, and therefore it does not depend on one personality or one man. So as soon as a personality, that's why you can change prime ministers, you can have a vote of no confidence. Whatever the guy was with the white hair, they put him out. The woman came in, she only lasted 2 months. People cannot just hold on to power for the sake of holding on to power. But as a matter of fact, in these more developed countries, once you leave political office, you get your rewards from your business people whom you had passed laws to enable them to get their businesses taken care of. So the difference between us is that we have personality cults we want to create. We have the Duvalier race. So they want to be Duvalier. Then you have the Skerritism and the Liberitism. And then, so people put their faith in one person and not in an institution. Institutions are what survives us. Okay, so when you institutionalize something, when you create a trust, when you create a foundation, when you create a company, it doesn't depend on one person. And then you wonder why big companies run and they're not stealing from it, because people now have a commitment to the company. They have developed a culture of loyalty to Walmart, to Amazon, to YouTube, to Meta, whoever it may be, Kroger, Albertsons, and so that's why they wake up and go to work. Whereas, say in Dominica, when somebody go to work, Mr. Nassif have to be very in you all day long. Mr. Whitchurch got in you all day long. Mr. Astafan and Ma Astafan, as old as she is, she got in you all day long because she thinks you're stealing from her. No, I don't know why my camera keeps going bright and dim. I haven't had time to check all these technicalities because the urgency of the message is so important that however it comes out, it comes out. At least you can see me, you can hear me, and you can appreciate me. Now, I know that if you go a day without hearing from me, you're having a boring day. And so that's why I take time out of my busy schedule to at least try and write to you. Now, this is my calming pill. Okay, so I'm going to take it. It's 5 milligrams to calm me down and to slow me down, and maybe I'll fall asleep by 5 or 6 or 7, but it will help me not to get too excited. It will calm my anxieties because you all give me a lot of anxieties. And I will take it with a little beer so that in the hope the effects will be more, more exciting. But however, I've been taking this damn medication for so long, I feel like it has no effect on me anymore. It won't even put me to sleep. And the doctor told me, they said, Lord Lander, if you take 10, and the average person take 10 milligrams of this medication is knocked out. I take 15 milligrams and I'm still going during the day. Some days I may take 20 and I'm still going. So that means within me is a force, a very powerful force like a raging bull. And I have to learn to control it because I don't want to do anything that I'm going to regret. So what I'm telling you is that it is dumb of us, ignorant of us to think that there are not wars and battles over land, and that between individuals, regular individuals like ourselves, that we won't go into conflict. The easiest way to get into conflict with people on our islands is to do a survey, and everybody comes and they get all mad and they do this and they do that, and you must see all the different caveats they have tried and attempted to put on me, and I have never encroached or tried to do anything to them, and it was us who sold them the land. But I want my land. I want my titles. I want to get out of your business. I want you to go on with your life, and I would like you to allow me and my family to go on with my life. So I'm asking you, please do not try any more tricks. Do not try any more underhandedness, because you will see a side of the voodoo master. You will see a side of the avenging army of Macandal. You'll see a side of God Electronic Army Press. You will see a side of God's electronic army that you do not want to see and you do not want to feel. So as always, I say to you, you must prepare for war in the time of peace. You must prepare for war in the time of peace. And you must always prepare for war in the time of peace. You must arm yourself. You must have enough ammunition. You must have enough fertilizer. You must have enough diesel fuel. You know how easy it is to make a bomb with fertilizer and diesel fuel? You don't need this. This is very limited in capacity. But if you mix a good bag of diesel and you know how to boil it and prepare it as a chemist, you could take out a whole block, like an ISIS type of operation. But it is not violence that we are preaching. It's not violence I'm advocating. I'm just explaining to you the possibilities of things that can happen and how a human being, a basic, simple human being, can be triggered at a moment's notice. But I'm not going to be triggered, because you know why? I love peace, I love freedom, and I love life. I love life, and I love you, and I care for you. I don't care how much I curse you out. I don't care how much you think I'm rude. If I see you fall down, I will help you. If I see you tomorrow, we'll speak kindly and we can break bread together. Believe me, there is no ill feelings or no grudges. This is strictly business. So long as we get the business out of the way, we are all friends. No matter if I told you to go and get a job like Mary Magdalene, you're still my friend, because I'll be your first customer. Oh, I was going to tell you a story. I have gotten how many refunds? Let me see. In my youth, I got a refund from a prostitute. I must have gotten 3 refunds from prostitutes. I'm the only man in the United States who have ever gotten refunds from prostitutes, and prostitutes have actually paid me. When the net accounting was done, I was paid, and they were left holding the tab. This is how sophisticated and influential your leader is. Can you get a refund from a hoe? Mike used to say Mussolini is so bad. Mussolini got a refund from a hoe. Anyway, I hope you find me to be interesting and entertaining, because what else do you have? These stupid jokers on TikTok. I mean, I'm better than TikTok. You know that. I know that. We all know that. So, again, receive the blessing of Francois. Receive the blessing of Christ Jesus, who is also a dead man that we pray to and worship. And may the peace of Christ Jesus be always with you and guide you and protect you. And know, no matter what you are, no matter what your orientation are, in the house of Macandal, you are welcome. Even if I speak about you or I say things about you, I have no hatred towards you, and I have no intention of committing any act that would hurt you in a way that other people would. I am your protector. I am your protector, and I will come to you in your time of need. God bless you. I bless you in my capacity as God. My darling, darling baby, my sweet and tender love, you're everything my heart ever dreamed of. Listen, I just can't get enough of you. I sit here, I get bored, I think about you. I got my voodoo Voodoo beer. I just ordered some more. Voodoo. You see, voodoo? Voodoo got a name. You all over here worried about voodoo, and voodoo is making money. I want to send you all a short message to tell you why the land is sacred. I grew up in the village of Massac. We have a little piece of land up on the hill, almost an acre, 0.89 or 0.99 something. And it's only now at my old age I realize why my mother was so proud, my great-grandmother was so proud, my grandmother was so proud. And I used to, as a little boy, wonder because we had a little house a little shack in the yard, and we used to rent it to people. And then Auntie Matilda had a little shack on one piece of the land. That's how much land we had. And because of that, I believe I grew up with a sense of dignity and pride, which my mother also instilled in me because we had land. And it's not a lot of people that have land. Land is sacred. Land is the basis of independence. And so we had that land, and then we have another piece of land higher up in Livian-Ho, where Uncle Onis used to live. He's dead now. And his direct offsprings are dead, but their offsprings are there. And some of them want to challenge me over that land, but that's my great-great-grandmother's land. And my mother's land, and my land by right. I mean, they have a portion that they can have, and it's theirs. But when I come there to lay my claim, I used to go there as a little boy to find wild yams, babaule, to bring home to my mother to cook. And I knew where to catch crab. When we didn't have food to eat, I knew how to go and catch a crab. I knew which rocks had crabs under them. So we grew up with that little piece of land, and it's not the soil, it's really a rock. But as a child, I was able to grow tomatoes, I was able to grow cucumbers, I was able to grow lettuce, celery, and parsley, and I used to go and sell it on the roadside of Massac. And we had 2 big mango trees until Hurricane David came. One mango tree died. I don't know what killed it. Rona would always say somebody who poisoned it. But the mango long died. I used to harvest the mango long as a young boy and go in the sea and get seawater and wash my mangoes and put them to ripe. You had mango cabin. And I go to the village, and the young boys used to try to steal my mangoes. And I had to be strong. And I had to fight them off. And that's why I'm so fucking strong now. Because of growing up in Massac, where this fucking upbringing was wicked and evil. Every day after school, the children used to fight me. They wanted to disfigure me. But look at me now. And I bet you all of them, they look worse. Sorry, I'm screaming again. They look worse than I do. They used to try to fight me. I had a scar right here. It faded away. I have a scar right here where a guy hit me for rock and busted my head and then tried to sue us, and Selma Dupini took the case. Ralph Parker, Selma, go look in your files. That was in the 70s. I had to be about 9 or 10 years old at the time. But I'm a warrior. I stood up to the village of Massac, to their taunting, to the... You think I call you a homosexual? Imagine the whole village looking at you and calling you a buggerer. How would you feel as a young boy and a young child growing up? That only made me strong. Strong like a fucking bull. And I remember the day I came to Dominica, and the boy for Robertson, who is a squatter on our land, and we paid Julius Prevost how much money to take him to court, and Julius Prevost got a defective verdict. And the boy kept telling me how much of a buggerer that I was. I didn't have proper shoes that day. I had flip-flops. And I invited him. I said, Robertson, just come down from where you are. Come to this Zaman tree, and I will bend you over and bugger you in front of everybody right here and right now. Come, Robertson. And my dick began to get erect, and I was ready to fuck Robertson in his ass. After that day, Robertson never called me a buggerer. He never did. Now when he sees me, he fears me. He fears me. So if somebody try to stigmatize you or to label you as a buggerer, the only way they can know you're a buggerer is if you fucking bugger them. So when they say, call you a buggerer, you have to tell them, come on, let me fucking bugger you. And as a matter of fact, I just walk with the Vaseline. I walk with the Vaseline at all times. At all times, especially in Dominica, I carry a fresh Vaseline and a small bottle of Axle grease, because if your little hole is too tight, I might need to put some Axle grease in your ass. But anyway, it's that little rock in Massac, in the hill of Massac, and people hated us so much because we had running water, we had electricity. We didn't have the biggest house. My mother struggled to put a little block house. And I remember one day I look at it and I say, you know what, Maron? This house is too small. I can sit in one part of it and see all four corners. She couldn't help it. When she came to the United States, she had to give me some back chat. She said, Peter, I cannot see the four corners of your house. Peter Emmanuel is a winner. Peter Emmanuel was born to win. Peter Emmanuel is a warrior and a fighter and will never concede defeat, even if he's wrong. So land is important. Land is the basis of independence. And the Europeans fought to conquer land. And that's why we in Dominica treat our land as if it is diamond and gold, and you cannot expect me to be different. That land is diamond and gold. And I want my titles to my lands. And you must give it to me without delay and without any more. And I want Miss Dupini. Miss Dupini, you do not have a case. Miss Dupini, the case you brought for Fenty LaRock is something where people who are scared, people who don't know better, will roll over and let you sodomize them with your strap-on dildo and just agree to whatever you want them to do. But as you know, for 12 years, I have kept you engaged. And it's either I will die before you or you'll die before me, and Fenty will die. But, you know, Mikey, sadly, a friend, a family friend, and a teacher, you killed him. You're the one who killed Mikey. You're a fucking witch. You're a blood-sucking vampire. And it's time for you to repent and go and meet Jesus and free me. Because that case has no basis. It doesn't have standing. It doesn't have grounds. And only a corrupt system could ever rule in your favor against me. And if that should ever happen, you know what will happen. You know the consequences. You know the consequences. If somebody should come and rule against me in your favor, when you do not have a case, you don't have a probate, you don't have occupation, you don't have any fucking proof. You're trying to look at the sky is blue, and you're trying to tell the court it's red. Listen, madam, I don't play, and you are at the wrong time in your life to take me on. Okay? I was born to win. I'm a fighter, and as I told you from the beginning, the slogan is resistance. We've been resisting you for 12 years. We've been struggling against you for 12 years. And now we are going to the phase of victory. Victory. Victory by all necessary means. So I am saying to you all, and to everybody who will listen, land is important, yes. Those of you who just want to have all the land for the land of the land, I want to tell you at the same time, land cannot pay for medicine, it cannot pay for beer, it cannot even buy pussy. You have to be able to convert the land into currency to buy pussy, to pay for medicine and medical care. Some people, when they get sick, they have to give away their land because they have to try to go overseas so they can stay alive. You see, with me, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to see Satan. I don't want to see Jesus, because if you kind of people going to be with Jesus, I don't want to be there. I want to be with Satan. I want to party. I want to have orgies. I want to drink alcohol. I want to smoke weed. I want to smoke cocaine in hell. And they have an everlasting orgy in hell. I want to be in there. In hell, they'll have homosexuality, heterosexuality, sex with animals, sex with dogs, sex with pigs. I want to be there. You should try to be there too. You should come to hell. Come to hell. Come with me to hell so we can have fun. But I want to remind you again, land is sacred. Land is the basis of independence. The Europeans fight brutal wars amongst each other to control land and to build empires and to conquer weaker people like ours. Now we claim we have independence and we have some self-governing. Let us make it work for one another. Please, whatever you do, do not, I ask you, please do not, for any reason whatsoever, attempt to undermine the territorial integrity and the financial interests of the Voodoo Master. You will pay an unimaginable price, and the price you will pay you will not be able to recover from. So those who have already committed the acts of treason, including my beautiful friend Joan Commodore, who threw away my documents, I forgive you. I forgive you, Joan. And if you want the thing, I might even give you the thing, okay? I have a nice, pretty thing. It's so pretty, the men like it and the women like it. If a man see it, he wanted it. If a woman see it, her mouth opens. Ah. Anyway, I hope you all are happy. I know some of you are miserable. Your faces buoy. You walk around with a constant frown. I used to be like that, and then I learned. You know, these people, I used to travel, and they would look at my picture and how pretty it looked, and they say, "Why are you not smiling? You have such a pretty smile, and your smile is so engaging." And now that I've gotten older, I've learned not to be stone-faced, and when I go places, I smile and I speak to people and I engage them. And I get so many benefits. I get discounts. I get things for free. One girl told me, she was mad at me. She said I used to come to the liquor store and I wouldn't give her eye contact. And little did I knew that she would have given me her discount and she would have probably given me the thing. But I had tried to be friendly with one somewhere else, and you know, you can't trust people. You know, that woman tried to allege that, and she was fat, and when I look at her, if I really told her what I thought about her, she wouldn't be happy. But she went and said that I was undressing her with my eyes. What was there to undress but to say, why is a young girl so fat? And if she got pregnant one time, she would blow up. That's all I was thinking when I look at her. And she couldn't even tell I was looking at her because I always wear dark sunglasses. I'm not wearing glasses right now because I want you to see me in my purity and in my beauty and in my handsomeness. And anyway, this is it for today because I got work to do. You all think that I don't have anything to do, but I have a lot of things to do. And even doing this is a hell of a lot of work. So God bless you, I bless you, and see you soon.